Welcome to episode 862, Michael Rubin, 10 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 862, lesson 1 to lesson 5. This is lesson 6 to lesson 10. Lesson 1, he invented the eCommerce model.
I think I give a lot of credit to where Fanatics is going to the success of Amazon. And the reason I say that is when I bought Fanatics back from eBay 7 years ago, we knew from day one that Amazon was going to be this incredibly successful company. I believe that 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and really my belief, it just kind of cut through it, is there's no way to win in e-commerce against Amazon or in China against Alibaba if you're not completely differentiated. So the whole Fanatics model is all about designing, developing, selling directly to the consumer-owned products, and it's really...
Lesson 2, the future of retail. There will be fewer but more successful stores.
It's going to be far less stores. My daughter would be really embarrassed if she saw the drawing. I think you're going to have far more e-commerce and far more mobile commerce. We'll do a little bit of Fanatics here so that we know we're actually buying online. If you're selling the same merchandise at brick and mortar retail as Amazon or Alibaba sell, you're not going to be very successful. You need to be differentiated. And in general, I think you're going to have fewer, bigger, and more successful retailers.
Lesson 3, start young. He started at age 8. According to this report, he was making money selling vegetable seeds, homemade stationery, and snow shoveling services. Lesson 4, he was bankrupt at age 16.
It is true, in fact, that when I was 16 years old and the ski season ended, it didn't snow that year, and I owed $200,000, and I was, essentially bankrupt at the age of 16 years old. Point of all of this is near-death experience at 16, ran out of money, and turned that into
Well, he said he was unlucky because there was no snow in 1988. That's not exactly the whole picture. He bought a Porsche. Lesson 5, he knows how to grow a business like a rocket. In 1991, he had sales of $1 million. By 1995, the sales has reached $50 million, an increase of 50 folds. Lesson 6, fully diversified businesses. Now at age 48, he owns 3 e-commerce companies and 3 sports franchises. In sports, he owns the NBA team, the Philadelphia 76ers. He owns the New Jersey Devil ice hockey team, and he also owns Crystal Palace soccer team in England. The 3 e-commerce companies he owns are Fanatics, Rulala, and ShopRunner. And lesson 7, think in decades.
To a very low point before you started to turn it around. Did that scare you and surprise you?
It didn't at all. I'm a person who believes very much in thinking decades at a time. So when I think about my business, I'm not thinking about what to do this quarter or what to do this year. I'm thinking about Fanatics and what are the chess moves I'm doing for 10 years from now, 20 years from now, to position ourselves to be one of the most successful companies in e-commerce in the world long term. And so when you do that, you have some dark days along the way, and sometimes people don't understand what you're doing.
Lesson 8, mobile will be the next disruptor in retail.
Every 10 years is, I think about the way e-commerce disrupted retail. Mobile is going to change e-commerce as much as e-commerce has changed traditional brick and mortar retail. So an example of that today is Fanatics gets 45% of its traffic today.
Lesson 9, reforming the criminal justice system in the United States.
How many people in prison?
6.7 million people in the criminal justice system today in the U.S., 5 times the rate of the rest of the world.
5 times the rate?
5 times the rate. It makes no sense. There's no logic. It's just a system that was built decades ago that makes no sense, and it needs aggressive people to say, this is broken, we need to fix it. And our mission is going to be very simple, which is how do we get a minimum of 1 million people out of the criminal justice system in the next 5 years? And how do we, over the next, kind of long term, how do we cut the population in half? And I think
Lesson 10, he takes no break. In 2011, at age 39, he hit the $150 million jackpot when he sold his company GSI to eBay. He took a 12-hour rest and immediately went back to work.
Joe alluded to it. I mean, you did this, you turned around, you didn't take the money and run.
But, and not
I took a night off. We sold the company on a Friday, and then I went back to work on Saturday. So I had a good 12 hours off.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.